Broadcasting live from Gasoline Alley.
Good afternoon. This is Joe Sibilia from Gasoline Alley in Springfield, Massachusetts. Which one of the cameras should we focus our attention on? This camera here? Okay, thank you. And I'm here this afternoon with Angela Lussier, author of the most recent book, The Anti-Resume Revolution. And she's been on a speaking tour. This is about her 51st event on her speaking tour. And she essentially argues in the book that one should connect their own personal values and their own desires and do what they want to do in their business, and they will thrive and be successful. And in her mind, the idea of success has to do more with courage than it has to do with talent. So we're going to spend a couple minutes with Angela tonight, have her share with us some of her experiences on Gasoline Alley, some of her experiences creating her business, transitioning from her other business, and moving into the national arena as a speaker, as a consultant, as a product development, and as ultimately a TV show or a movie. So Angela, I wanted to welcome you back to Gasoline Alley because you've been gone for a while on your speaking tour, and to let you know unequivocally that everyone here misses you and really appreciates and respects your graduation at a very, very early time and at a very successful effort going forward. So with that, maybe you could share with our listeners and viewers your experiences before you started your business, your starting of your business, some of your experiences here, what you've learned, and what you are planning on doing in the future. I know that's a lot for a first question, but we're not going to have too many questions tonight.
Okay, so this will be the next 45 minutes.
No, yeah, this is the next 45 minutes.
Well, when I left my full-time job during the recession, I knew that what I was going to do next wouldn't be like just sitting in a cubicle in a corporate environment and doing my work and hoping that my boss would leave me alone. Starting my own business meant that I would have the freedom to do it where I wanted to, when I wanted to, and do what I wanted to. And having that mindset meant that I needed to be around other people who understood the importance of having the freedom to think and have ideas and have a vision. And for the first couple of months, I couldn't find a space to do that in. I was working from home in the basement with my cats. They didn't have a lot of ideas.
How many cats do you have?
2.
What are their names?
Gratitude and Lily.
Nice. Boys or girls?
A boy and a girl.
And they get to hang out together?
Yeah. Gratitude's kind of like Garfield, and Normal. Lily is like Normal. They're like best friends. It's cute. But they weren't really great to bounce ideas off of. So I decided to look around for a place to do my work. And months went by before I finally found out about Gasoline Alley Foundation, which was by chance through a LinkedIn connection. And I called Rob right away and came down and met with you guys. And right away I just felt this connection to this place and to you and to the people who worked here. And I thought this was a great place to launch my business. And it turned out that it was a great choice because you taught me a lot about business and a lot about how to spend my time well and how to make money and what to focus on. And that's why I think I advanced so quickly.
So, well, that's a beautiful testimony. I really appreciate that. And what we learned from you was so much. I mean, some of the social media sessions that you spent with us were very effective. Many of the things that you're doing in marketing and using social media and contact and networking for your business has demonstrated that the future in business has a lot to do with connections in social media. So that was really good, and we want to learn more about that as well. The next question, I guess, would be a more of a specific question. Is that what specifically did you learn that separated yourself making that transition from, like, say, a young adolescent woman to a woman? In other words, making that transition. I'm using that as a metaphor, going from a kid to a woman. So did you learn anything here that helped you facilitate going from a startup business or a small independent business to one that you could scale? What did you learn in that in between there that helped you get there?
Well, I realized that if you attach time to money, then you can never grow, especially if you're working alone, because you can only make as much money as there are hours in the day. And I didn't think of that at first. I was more concerned with just making my mark and making sure that people knew I was here and helping as many people as I could. But that's hard to do when you're one person and you can't stretch time. So it's learning that lesson of how to scale up and create products and create different ways to make money and to get the job done was critical.
That's a great answer. Well, one of the other, I'd like to ask you another question and brag about your presentation at TEDx, which is on YouTube and it's on your website, your speech at TEDx where you did the cartwheel on stage, and fortunately you had
Bike
bike
shorts.
shorts on, and so that was kind of cool. You picked everybody out with that one. Help us understand what was another fun experience you had in a speaking engagement where you were inspired and you knew that your message was getting across and that the audience was responding to you.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I spoke in Tucson, Arizona at the International Precious Metals Industry Conference, and I was speaking in front of, mostly older men who traditionally don't use social media, which is why I was there to help them find employees and help employees find jobs in that industry. So I wore all black for the presentation. I brought my ice bucket from my room, my hotel room, and I told everyone I was attending a funeral that day and that the ice bucket was now an urn which contained the cremated remains of cold calls. And I treated the rest of the meeting the presentation like a funeral, like we need to lay that to rest because now there are other ways to communicate.
Oh, what a great metaphor now, Lori.
It was great.
All at once.
And at the end I made everyone do a pledge, like the cactus pledge, because it kind of looks like a cactus, that they would pledge to use at least one social media outlet by the time they left that weekend. And they all repeated it, and it was really fun, and it was just different, and we had a good time with it.
Well, that's a great one. Did you come up with that one before you went? Was that a strategy you used with a marketing company or an advertising agency, or is that something that you came up instinctively with? And tell us about the nature of coming up with an idea like that and then executing it.
I came up with that idea the night before because I was there for 3 days and my presentation was on the second day. So the first night I attended a big networking event at the hotel for everyone at the conference, and that was where I learned that a lot of these people had no concept of what was going on online except that that's how they emailed each other. And I knew that they were still using cold calling as a way to do business and to find potential employees. So I happened to pack a black outfit, and I just thought, maybe I'll just tie all this together. And I looked at my ice bucket and I thought, that looks like an urn. And I just thought of it that day. And I really wrote my speech on the plane because I found that I'm a huge procrastinator, but I'm much more successful when I do things last minute. So I don't work with ad agencies, I just come up with ideas based on the audience.
And you base them on the audience and your own instinct and what you see that's around you.
Yeah, and something that's interesting and different and that people will relate to and have a good time watching.
Well, this is great. This is very good content. Let me ask you another question about tonight's event. Here you are at Gasoline Alley in Demand for It, which many of the people that are watching this have some experience with Demand for It and the different events that we have here, and speakers and acts and entertainment. Tell us what this group is that meet here, what you hope to accomplish in this group, and then we'll conclude with some other questions on the future.
Okay. Well, the group meeting tonight is called the Do What You Love group. There's 2 of them. There's a Springfield group, and then there's one that also meets in Northampton, which is run by Dana Wild and myself. And what we do is we meet twice a month, and we have a group of people who are interested in connecting in different ways that are not offered at most networking events in the Valley currently. So we have kinds of exercises, we do art projects, we listen to music, we dance, we offer a stage where people can come up with ideas and share their concept with each other to gain support and challenges and just ways to kind of bring people together in a way that isn't currently being done, especially if we're trying to build a business or do something that is outside of the norm and maybe scary.
Is anyone in the Pioneer Valley invited, or do you limit any of the attendees? How could someone that might be interested in these topics join and be invited to come? Help us understand that.
Well, they can go to my website, my365degrees.com. There's a page on there for the Do What You Love group, and there's a whole outline of what we do and how we accept people. It's a short application. We just want to know what people are up to and why they're interested in joining. And then we accept them, and they can come to the meeting, and there's a small membership fee. And
What's the membership fee?
it's $50 for 6 months, or $75 for both clubs for 6 months. And in addition to the Do What You Love group, we have subgroups that are focused on specific areas like writing, performance art, a book club. We have an outdoors like field trip group where we're going camping next weekend, and it's just different ways to interact with each other and build on what we care about.
So Rob, I'm guessing, and Mark, that all the data and all the links on this video will be connected to not only her group, but this other group, her book, everything else that we're going to do. I guess I could just take that for granted. That just goes to further demonstrate the digital divide. Do you think there's a, this will be my our concluding question, and I've written a couple of blogs on this topic, and I interview a number of senior executives at companies that are engaged in corporate social responsibility and sustainability. And I really find that there's a digital divide between the baby boomers and the younger generation. The baby boomers consider digital media, emailing somebody, and maybe if they were to be exposed to Twitter, they might be exposed to Twitter, but they're not really actively engaged. Give us a little bit about your feeling on how to bridge the digital divide and what challenges are faced by the generation that's not using social media and those that are, and what will happen by those two groups not connecting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think both sides need to understand that there are other worlds that they may not be living in. Like the older generation needs to recognize that social media is just a complement to face-to-face networking. Without one, the other doesn't work so well. And for the younger generation, they need to embrace the face-to-face networking just as much as they are with the social online media. My definition of social media is that it's a way to continue the conversation and brand yourself online, which means once you've met someone, and then you can continue to converse with them over the internet. But that's not a way to build a relationship or to meet someone. And for the older, the baby boomers, they can use social media as a way to stay top of mind with their potential clients in front of their market.
Do you find there is in fact a digital divide?
Yes. And I don't think that either one I don't think that face-to-face networking can ever be replaced by social media and vice versa, but the two can work really well together.
Well, under normal circumstances, we'd have questions from the audience, but since we didn't invite anybody tonight, and we're only at the beginning of the session, we won't entertain any questions. But I think that what will happen in the future is that Angela will probably come back again and visit us, and we might invite Angela for an event that we have, Robbie, with maybe some music or a symposium or something we're bringing up, maybe for the graduation of the Restore. One final note, the Restore is another initiative of the Gasoline Alley Foundation that arrived here about 8 years ago with a lamp and a box with the idea that they would take surplus building materials and deconstruct homes, bring those materials back here to Gasoline Alley, sell them to the community at a discount, and build homes for the homeless. After 10 years, they've been very successful. They're leaving here with $600,000 in the bank and a $900,000 grant to create an environmental learning center and expand their facility 3 or 4 doors down on the street. So maybe when we have that graduation, Angela will come here and say that she's now partners with Oprah Winfrey. She's going to be collaborating with Oprah on her new network, and then her book contract has extended to a movie, and she's considering having Julia Roberts or maybe I don't know who else you would want to pick, Charlize Theron, anybody or someone else to play her. She's going to be thinking about that between now and October, so thank you very much, Angela, for coming tonight.
Thanks.
We appreciate it. Okay?